Hello, Dane here from Jonah Custom Guitars, and the guy I work with bought this this guitar. It's going to be backward. I'll turn it around here. Iron or however you say that. And there's a little J and M over there, right down in here. So it's obviously an Ibanez knockoff or copy or something. Reject, possibly. Look at the ends of all those fins, and they're so thin that they can't get a tool to cut that sharp on the ends here. So every one of these fins has got a big bunch of filler in the end, and they just use black filler rather than try to match a rosewood color. You can see the left end of this one is get a different angle so the strings. It's got to be pushing 3/16 of an inch gap right there, and then you can see down here on the next one down there's a 1/16 of an inch gap in that one. So, not to be nitpicky, I mean, the guy got this on eBay for $80, but just to give you an idea of what you can get for 80 bucks. The body doesn't actually look too bad, and I'm really not remotely used to running a one-handed operation here. So, on the camera. So anyway, there's the body. I might pull it apart a little bit, enough, pull a pickup out of it or something, or pull the cavity off just to see what, I'll probably just open up the cavity there to find out what's, I can do that one-handed. Okay. Well, I'm trying to adjust the trim arm so it's not, okay, there we go. Probably swap hands with the camera so that I'm not accidentally left-handed taking screws out of the back of somebody's guitar. Probably wouldn't be a good idea. Alright, so kind of wanted to look in here anyway to find out what type of electronics we're looking at in this unit. Oh, okay. I was thinking there was something rolled up on the edge of this thing, but it doesn't recess in. It just lays flat on the back of the guitar, so they've just taken and chamfered the edge of the cover over. So I thought there was a piece of plastic rolled up on it. You can see that they spent a lot of time, I'm being facetious, didn't spend any time at all cleaning the polishing compound out of there, and so of course they're the dime pots, and can't really see what's going on with this. It's a PCB type 3-way switch, or 5-way switch, probably 5-way. Yep. A little green capacitor down there. I'm not even going to bother taking the jack out. So that's kind of crappy in there. I haven't gotten to the good part yet. I'm just going to blow that off a little bit. So, yeah, 80 bucks on eBay. It's got, it's a Strat style guitar. I mean, like I said, Ibanez copy, but Ibanez was a Strat copy. Basically. So I don't know if there's any. I didn't even check the tuners before to see. There's just no name on the back of the tuners there. Little pieces of white plastic still stuck on there, except for this second one down, the A tuner. The back of the neck actually must have like some really like one wipe worth of wipe on poly or something in a satin, because it feels like it's basically bare wood, which isn't a bad feeling, except that it's going to wear off really fast and the neck's going to get really dirty. So now here's the treat. Guy brings this into work today. He's pretty excited because he's a younger guy and he's just spent his $80 and picked this guitar up. I'm not even sure that I'll be able to capture this. Yeah, you can see that neck. You see the bow in that neck? That neck actually, if you lay a straight edge on it, has 3/32 of bow in it. And it looks worse than it really is, actually. And I haven't tried to adjust the rod. I was wondering maybe if they just skip that part. But there is a truss rod in there. At least there's an Allen. An Allen nut down there. Now here's the other thing. And I don't know, I might have to try to stand a ruler up on this for you to see, but the string height on this thing is absolutely, there's the 12th. Absolutely crazy. Look at that. So you got 30 seconds of up bow in the neck on its own, and then apparently this bridge is super high. It's kind of in the medium adjustment. I'm probably going to have to shim the neck to get that action to go down. But I'm going to straighten the neck out first, and I'm going to go from there. And I'm not going to record all that. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what's available for $80. And not to say that this thing couldn't be worked on some and cleaned up, but you know, I'm kind of doing him a favor and giving him a little break on his setup. But if he was paying full price for that, he'd have been better off to just spend a little more money on the guitar, I think. Obviously you're not going to be able to read that. I can't even read it with this from this position. Where am I at? I'm reading a 1/2 inch to the top of that E string. So, well, let me get back in the picture here. So from the fret to the top of the E string, I'm reading a 1/2 inch. If I'm correct. No, I'm not. I'm totally wrong. I'm sorry. I'm reading that 8/32. So actually that's a 1/4 of an inch to the top of that E string. Anyway, it's a lot. You can't fret this thing anywhere along the neck and get a note that's in tune to the open note, because you tune it to the open note and you have to stretch the string so far to hit a fret that it's, you know, it's a 1/2 step up by the time it hits the fretboard. Anyway, yeah, I might throw the camera back on and play it a little bit once it's set up. So back on the black Albanese copy thing, Aaron, without banging it on my bench there. Okay, so I think when we left this, there was something like 3/16 of an up bow in the neck. Taking the bow out of the neck did not bring this thing down anywhere close. The pocket needed to be shimmed. And I mentioned before, this is like an $80 eBay thing, you know. So, you know, and I didn't start this project with the intention of like picking this apart or ridiculing that at all. But as I worked on it, I kept finding things that were pretty lame. I did put it back on, but I pulled it off, and I don't know that you can see that. I've blown in there a lot, but there is so much buffing compound in there, and then also in the jack. I took the jack out because every time you touch the wire it would pop, And I took it out, and basically it's the import style jack socket with just a little arm that goes in there. So it was loose, so I had to bend that over. The tabs at the hot and the neutral wires are ground wire, and this type of electrical was welded to, soldered to. They were laying way out, and they were rubbing right up against the side of the cavity, and they had all kinds of compound on them as well. And that may be the only thing that actually kept them from shorting out, because I think they probably spray the insides of these cavities with shield paint, but that could be wrong. Being that it's a black guitar, hard to tell. The other thing I noticed, it's probably basswood. I did find some areas where I could see the body wood, and it does look like it's probably basswood. What else was I thinking about? Oh, when I pulled the neck out, you've got these ferrules that the screws go into, and apparently they do the complete finishing on the thing, and then they punch these holes in. So there's no finish in, from the surface down into the hole. So if you were to get moisture in those holes, those things are going to swell up and cause some finish problems. There also, when I had the neck out of the pocket, the bottom of the neck pocket is incredibly uneven. Overall it's flat, but there's little craters and divots and all kinds of stuff in there, and it's kind of like, I'm thinking that they got a CNC machine that's just going in there and cutting that out. Why it would be uneven, I don't know. The neck really basically was coming into the guitar on a down angle like that. So that's what had, these strings were way off the top of the neck. I'm trying to remember if I gave you a measurement in the first, I think it was a quarter or something like that, quarter of an inch, that these things are off the fretboard, and they're right at 4/64ths now, which is a 1/16 of an inch. I fret rockered this thing, and about every other fret is high, all the way up the board. So I could jack the action up and probably have a little cleaner note here and there. I've got a few that A at the 12th, for instance, but at the 11th it's clean, at the 13th it's clean. So I just got a high fret right there, or the low. The 12th is probably low, but anyway, and I got some E notes like that. There's one that's kind of rattly. I only signed on with this guy for just a really, cheap, get the thing playable, because the action was so high. So I'm not going to chase, those high frets like that. This thing needs a fret level. I could, just pick and choose individually, but that would just way more time than he wants to pay me to deal with at this point. So maybe down the road, if he gets a few bucks together, I'll just level it all for him and clean it up quite a bit. The neck really does need some fall away. When as far as where the relief is set right now, I'm just under 12 thousandths. It's set pretty good, and getting that with more relief is only going to compound the problem higher up the neck here. If I had more relief in the neck, I'd have strings rattling up here. So I don't want to go there either. Anyway, so for what I was asked to accomplish, I think I've more than done that. Also when I had the neck out and then looking around the pickup cavity here, this one pickup cavity that doesn't have a ring on it, there's sand through. So right here, right up tight against the neck on both sides, they've sanded through the finish so you can see down to the next layer of paint and or wood in some cases. This guitar has been, and as far as I know, it's new from the factory, but it was painted red, white, and black, and so it's kind of interesting that it's probably what they do when they get to one that they just can't make look right. They just shoot black on it. That seems kind of counterintuitive if you ever done automotive painting. The best bodies get black. But I've run into that too before on guitars, where the seconds just got a blast of black over them and bury everything. The other thing, and like I said, I wasn't starting out trying to be critical, but I don't know that you'll be able to see it. But, well, first of all, the neck is extremely fat, which is okay. A lot of people like a really fat neck. But it's pretty much the same thickness, almost from the very top at the nut, you know, to the heel. But the funny thing is it actually gets thinner. It comes right about here, and then you can actually feel a big swell right in the neck where it actually gets thinner right as it goes into the heel. And that's definitely screwy. I don't know that you'll ever be able to see that in this video or not, but so the point basically is right here, right where my finger's at. And then it goes narrower as it goes down to the heel. And then, well, and then back up to the fattest part. But so, having said all that, you know, for 80 bucks, probably can't get too picky. I know there's a lot of really low-end, I'm not sure about their guitars, but I know on their least expensive bass on Ibanez, their 4-string, it's 200 bucks, and those basses are bomber. I haven't met anybody yet that doesn't agree with that analysis of those $200 Ibanez basses. Are incredible. So I'm wondering if what these guitars are is an Ibanez reject with a new name on it and a black paint job, basically. Anyway, I have been playing a little bit. I got, you know, in the process of doing all this, I had to intonate it. Oh, I started to talk about that. The reason I didn't just go ahead and jack the strings up is because right now it's intonating just about perfectly. If anything, it's still just a tad sharp on a couple strings, which means I have to go, well, I got the guitar that way. I have to go longer with the string. And these saddles are back as far as they can go. I could take the string completely out, do all that, cut the spring, and get a little more on it. But what the guitar really needs is a fret level, and I don't want to overcompensate on one end of the thing to fix a problem that isn't going to be a problem once he gets the frets leveled. So if that makes any sense. And there again, I told you, the guy, you know, he hired me just to do this for a little bit amount of money as I can. I think as it is, he's going to be making me payments for a setup. So he just doesn't have a lot to work with right now, and I can appreciate that. I've been there. But so I'm not doing a bunch of stuff that I'm going to have to charge this guy for. So that's the bottom line. Anyway, having said all that, I'm going to go ahead back through and tune this thing again. Oh, that was one other thing. The bridge, the plating on the bridge, and there again, you're not going to be able to see that in the camera. The plating on the bridge is apparently so thin, or the point on the end of the height adjustment screw on the bridge is so sharp that I've already worn through the plate in just, you know, one session, and the ones that are worn through, actually, I really didn't do much with. As far as screwing up and down. Now I went, you know, back to set the intonation, but I don't do it under string tension. I loosen the strings so that I'm not, you know, stripping the heads of the intonation screw out or stripping the saddle out where the screw goes through. So, you know, it's just get the saddle where I'm going with it. So it really shouldn't have had a lot of down pressure on it doing the adjustment. So that plating has to be really, really thin. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you about the jack too, that when I took it out, was that the wires were just soldered. I mean, just soldered onto the edge of the lugs. They weren't through the holes at all. It's always a good idea soldering to do a little hook in your wire and put it through the lug, so that you have a mechanical connection as well as a solder connection. So those are just held up there and dabbed on with solder. And there's not a lot holding them there. So, really, really super low end. Another thing that I noticed here on the peg head is that I can actually slide my pick right up under. Oh, where's it at? I can slide my pick right underneath the tuner, and I snugged that screw up a bit. I probably will now that I've shown you guys this, because I hate to leave it like that, but I'll probably back that screw out of there and go ahead and pilot that hole. Every screw in this guitar is going in off angle. I got the cover plate screws, the jack plate screws. You know, nothing's hitting the guitar square where the screw's at, you know, even on a radius like the jack plate. When you go in square to the plate, but the screws are just off angle, so all the heads, nothing fits flush in the guitar. Everything's kind of sideways and goofy looking. Anyway, I'm going to tune it up a little bit. I'm going to spin the camera down here to the guitar. Bad sounding guitar. This is only a 35 watt solid state amp, an old Yamaha. Okay. Run it through the selections here. So here's the number 1 position, the bridge. Okay. And here's the chord. Should be bridge in middle, number 4. Well, that bridge is pretty hot, and it's not that close to the strings. You get up close to this nut and it doesn't play right in tune there. The nut needs to be filed in just a tad. It's just a little bit higher than I like, although it's really not out enough that I should be getting, you know. Then again, it's got 9s on it, so maybe I'm just being heavy-handed. Okay, well, this is the middle. Neck. By the way, the tone's all the way up. neck again by itself is loud. Just a tiny bit less loud. Not quite as loud as the bridge. I didn't notice any kind of capacitor or anything in there that would... So the middle position really cuts the volume. So middle 2, 3, and 4 really bring the volume down. So there's kind of the finish up on this little Ibanez copy off of eBay. You know, if you can work on your own guitars, it's probably not a bad deal, because I could sit here and do another, you know, hour's worth of fiddling, do a fret level on it and get it dialed in pretty good, but I don't know. You'd have to decide whether or not that was worth it for you. There's so many things on this thing that are just ugly that I don't think I could deal with it, or you know, live with it. I mean, of course, I'm in a position where I don't have to. So, but if you don't have lots of cash, this might not be a bad way to go. Hard to say. You know, there's lots of options out there. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys see what you can get for $80 on eBay.